Welcome back, Coin Roll Hunters. Thanks for joining me, Matthew, the Great Coin Roll Hunter, on another exciting episode of Big Money, the show that takes our favorite coins and currency and puts them under the microscope. Today we'll be examining a Minnesota state quarter for a double die coin error. And if you're a new viewer just dropping in just to check us out and see what I'm all about, make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring that bell because you're not going to want to miss another episode. So with all that being said, let's get into it. For those of you who joined me yesterday, you'll know that we did some coin roll hunting and got our first chance at going after this Minnesota double die variety. So I'm just going to bring that up for you right now. Okay. Here we go. I'll just fade away. Okay, so here it is. As you can see, this is a Minnesota state quarter. It has two dates on it, one at the top and one at the bottom. The one at the top reads 1858. This was the year that Minnesota became an official state under the Union, and that occurred on May 11th. And the second date there at the bottom of the rim is 2005. The Minnesota State Quarter design was released on April 4th of that year. It was the second design released in the 2005 series and the 32nd coin to be released in the 50 State Quarter program. So this one here was minted in Philadelphia as marked by the capital P there next to George Washington's ponytail there on the right. And there were exactly 239,600,000 of these coins minted at the Philadelphia Mint. So if you want to buy one of these coins in a, say, a Mint State 65 condition, that'll retail for around $1. Oh, and great news for all of our silver stackers out there. The San Francisco Mint also produced 1,678,649 of these 90% silver proofs of this design. And so if you want to pick up one of those beautiful, beautiful coins, they'll retail for around $8. So let's take a look at why this coin made our list of quarter varieties and errors and put this thing under the microscope. So here we go now. All right, getting situated here. Why don't we just give ourselves a little bit of room. Okay, here we go. The Minnesota State Quarter. All right, so this is the here's the reverse of the Minnesota State Quarter, which was designed and engraved by Charles Vickers, and this is just a beautiful design. There is the release date 2005 above the Latin phrase "e pluribus unum," which means one of many, in regards to the 13 original colonies, the states being formed as one of many under the Union. So the federal government, actually. So at the very top, we see the state name, Minnesota, and the year it became a state under the Union, 1858. And yeah, so we'll continue on here. The state of Minnesota is actually known as the Land of 10,000 Lakes, and they've added this nickname here within the frosted raised relief of the shape of the state here. And just embracing that 10,000 lakes idea, Charles has depicted this very charming fishing at the lake scene. Sorry, I'm tripping over my tongue. So we'll just kind of go over this design a little bit. Here at the bottom rim of the coin, we have this little bird here. This is a loon, which as many of you have already been following the show might know is also on our birding list. But we'll touch base on this character We'll probably go into more depth on a Denver minted coin. So for now, we'll just continue on with the scene. So going off of our Loon, we see some ripples in the water. To follow the image upward, we can see a man fishing in this nice motorboat. Very great detail, by the way, on this coin. Just really beautiful. And so predominantly you'll see also moving upward this majestic tree line, this line of pines along the lake edge. And this is the target of our hunt today. And so just did a preliminary pan over the pine tree line. And what we're actually looking for is what's called a double die. So a double die error occurs when the hub of a die, which is just the hardened piece of steel that contains the design image of the coin engraved onto it, well, it shifts slightly between stamps on the blank of a coin we call a planchette, which is just the disc of blank metal before it's then imprinted with the design and minted into a coin. Well, this effect creates a stacking of the image. It's a visible doubling of the design, stacked and slightly offset to the top design. And so in the Minnesota State Quarter from the Philadelphia Mint, this has the effect of extra trees along the tree line. Now, it's kind of hard for you to tell, right? Because what's normal? And so it's pretty easy actually to tell because these extra trees will look like they're floating. They won't actually have trunks to root them down into the scene. And there'll be partial imprints of this. It's actually a tilted die is what's actually created the doubling in this effect. The die slightly tilted in between and shifted off to one side actually, creating these impartial imprints of these trees. And so we'll just kind of stop right there. It does not look like we have any doubling on this particular piece. But you know what? It sure was fun to check. And that's what this hobby is all about. It's about just going out there, finding it. I mean, I was so happy just to even have a chance to check for this coin because there are so many different varieties and versions of this tilted die, double die effect along this tree line. And if you can find one, they typically run between $10 and $30 depending on the grade. You're higher up in the 30 range if you've actually had this coin in, let's say, a mint state condition and even sent off and slabbed by a grading company. So it's official. But still, not a bad return on a 25-cent investment if you ask me. So thank you for joining me. If you like this video, please share it on your social media channels. Let's try to get the rest of your friends over here so we can start talking about coins together. And check out the comments below this video because I'm sure a lot of you are going to have some very interesting comments about this particular double die error on the Minnesota Quarter. And so if you'd like to do this yourself at home, if you're really getting into this, in the descriptions below, I've also added an Amazon affiliate link to the same exact USB microscope I use here on the show. So you can do this yourself at home really easily through the aid of the computer because the USB will just plug right in. And so, yeah, if it's not too much to ask, hit that likes button. And until we see each other again tomorrow for some more coin roll hunting, this has been Matthew, the great coin roll hunter, wishing you happy hunting. Thank you, everybody.